It's Heels on Wheels, the racing show by female racers, for female racers, about female racers, featuring female racers, with a few surprises thrown in. Heels on Wheels is brought to you by Renew Salon and Spa, Excelsior Racing, and Dragonflies and Nymphs Creation. And now, here are your hosts, Krista Elise, Taylor Hyatt, Jean Kinzer-Dana, Stacy Grammer, and Emily Gotti.
Thanks for tuning in to the Heels on Wheels radio program. I'm the executive producer, Taylor Hyatt, and we have an amazing show lined up for you today. First, let me introduce our hosts. Jean Kinzer-Dana, who knows all about Pirelli World Challenge, Stacy Grammer, with years of experience in road racing, Krista Elise, with her knowledge of drag racing, and Emily Gotti, who is our circle track expert. Now, on to the reason we're all here, the guest. We have racer and Mustang enthusiast Jennifer Awad, and former Miss Motorama and motocrosser Tonya Mantsch. Gear for girls? Is there enough of it? Is it competitively priced? And why must it all be pink? Hear what our ladies have to say tonight on our Racing Roundtable. Joining us with our roundtable will be Diana Clausen. KDP is back with more from Beauty's Got Muscle. And as always, Chef Sizzlin' Scotty with another great grillin' dish. So let's put those heels and get this show on the road. Ladies, let's talk racing news. As always, there's a ton of stuff going on in the industry. Krista, what do you have for us this week?
You know, sometimes in racing and in life, way leads on to way. So we know that Barrett-Jackson was this past week, and they actually put the Snake and the Mongoose hauler trailers up for auction. And if you don't know who they are, and this will lead me into my next segment, they were two of some really well-known NHRA drag racers on the West Coast in California, and they pretty much changed the sport. There's also a limited release movie out with drag racer Alexis DeJoria making a cameo. And I'm not going to spoil what it's about, but if you like drag racing, go see it. And, you know, the other tidbit of news I have from the floor at Barrett-Jackson is the first 2015 Mustang, the Euro design, sold for over $300,000 this week. So it's been a big week, you know, not only in muscle car news and drag racing. I can't even go on about it. It's actually pretty exciting for NHRA drag racing and domestic muscle cars to get such big, such big credit in the news these days.
Wow. I also saw somewhere that the forces were racing against each other last weekend, and Brittany Force actually won the NHRA Rookie of the Year.
You know, that's nice to see because Brittany Force, I feel like she doesn't get enough credit in the news as her family coming up. You know, Courtney and John are always in the news, in competition. And, Courtney did that big spread in the magazine. But, I mean, personally, it's great to see another daughter coming up and doing really well. She deserves it.
And for them to race together, I mean, how cool is that, to be able to race against your dad? I mean, I know he has the other two already racing with him, but to have all of his daughters there, it's awesome.
Yeah, father-daughter relationships, you don't see a lot of that in major motorsports, and I think that's really important in women's motorsports in general, to have more of that. But not only is it, daughters racing with their father, they're racing with an NHRA legend. I mean, he has set records that I'll be amazed if any time in the near future get broken.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's an amazing guy for sure. So, Stacy, let's move on to road racing. What's going on in your world?
Oh, the big thing this week is the Daytona 24 hours and the IMSA with the new team lineups and the new teams that have been put together for this race. And I know half the racing world is headed to Daytona this week. A lot of people have already left and coming down to sunny Florida for some really exciting racing. It's 3 days and under 19 hours. I said that badly. Let's say under 3 days and 19 hours to go. It's going to be interesting.
I couldn't imagine doing that much racing in such a short period of time. I mean, for us, it's like you go 10 seconds and then you sit and wait.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's not just the drivers, it's the teams, because the teams don't sleep either. it's very unusual to see the team sleep, but all the support personnel, everybody's up for a full 24 hours, and you have to be as on top as you can be for this race. Not to mention the new battles.
Every little thing. I mean, every little thing, especially in Daytona. I mean, it can make a difference. The road race cars are so. I think, in my opinion, they're more fickle than drag race cars.
I don't know. I've been to the 24-hour a couple of times. It is a little too long for me to work the race. I'm usually fine being at home watching this race. But when I've been there, it's I have seen them just destroy a car, and you're thinking, okay, they're out. And in an hour, they'll be back out on the track and still in the run for the championship or for the points. So it can be very exciting, and some of those exciting hours the networks don't cover, and they are. I don't get that, because there's so much exciting stuff that happens all the way through the race.
I'm just hoping that this year they don't miss any, major moments, and that you're right, they don't cover the whole race, and unfortunately, I think it would be very difficult for them to do that. But yes. I'm sure we'll see them on YouTube, or we will see some playback somewhere.
Well, and on that note, the Performance Motorsports Network is going to have pre- and post-race coverage, hourly reports, and basically flag-to-flag coverage. So whatever updates we can't get on TV, we can get on Performance Motorsports Network.
Exactly. And can I just say one thing? These cars are so cool. Like, they just look better than any race car I've ever seen. They're just amazing. So before we run out of time here, we have a couple of minutes left. I do want to mention one huge change going on in Formula One, and it's probably the biggest change in the decade. Yes. And Formula One, they're going from a 2.4-liter V8 to a 1.6-liter V6 to be more environmentally friendly. Lee, what do we think about this?
Good luck. Environmentally friendly?
Yeah.
Well, it's a turbo.
What kind of power?
Yeah, they are turboed.
I mean, with efficiency of turbo motors these days, I mean, I am confident that they will still be very competitive.
Do you think it's going to change the fan base at all?
Well, I don't think so. I really don't.
If you're a Formula One fan, it doesn't matter what they do. I think it's going to be interesting to see who they choose to lead the organization. Somebody got in a little trouble with the law in Germany and had to step down last week. Did y'all see that? Bernie Ecclestone?
Yeah. That's interesting. So, all right, one more thing before we go. I do want to mention NASCAR. They're changing the chase format. They're moving from 12 drivers to 16 drivers in the chase, 3 rounds of knockouts, and this is the interesting part. The last 4 drivers after the knockout rounds will have their points reset before the final race. It's going to be a crawl to the very end. I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Wow. That really is going to change things.
With NASCAR, it's the suspense. Fans love the suspense. So if that's going to add some grapple and some bumping to it and, a better competition, fans are just going to eat that up.
Hopefully it brings them some more fans, I would think. So, all right, well, if that's racing news this week, let's see what Scotty has cooking in the kitchen.
Hey, it's Sizzle and Scotty, and it's time to talk grilling. And it's so nice to be here with the lovely roundtable of ladies. Ladies, I've got something for you today. It's definitely something that's going to warm you up and make you think tropical. This time of the year with the snow and the cold, we want to think about being someplace nice and festive. So we've got some shrimp and pineapple po' boys. And these sandwiches are really, really easy to do, and they're definitely going to be a big hit at your tailgate, or your backyard party, or even just as something to do while you're watching the game at home, or even watching one of our big races that are coming up soon. So let's get right to the ingredients list. We've got 1 pound of large peeled and deveined shrimp. You can get them like that, or you can do them yourself. I'd suggest having your local fishmonger take care of that for you. We're going to add some kosher salt, 4 teaspoons of Cajun shrimp seasoning, and again, as long as it's some kind of Cajun seasoning, that's what we're looking for. We're going to go with 1 tablespoon of olive oil, a half teaspoon of cumin seeds, a half a teaspoon of fennel seeds, a half of a red onion, and that's going to be finely diced, 1 serrano pepper, and the seeds and the membrane removed. That'll take away some of the heat and give you that nice serrano pepper flavor. Going to have that minced up. Then we're going to have a half a teaspoon of turmeric. To all this, we're also going to need 1 20-ounce can of pineapple chunks, and we're going to have those drained and finely chopped. A small handful of minced cilantro, and that you can get that at your local, your local grocery store. We're also going to use a half a cup of mayonnaise, cornmeal for dredging, some vegetable oil for frying, some po' boy buns, and those are just it's like a bigger than a hot dog bun, a small sub bun, I guess you could say, and some lettuce and sliced tomato for topping our sandwiches. So let's put these sandwiches together. Really easy recipe, and I'm sure that you ladies could definitely handle this in the kitchen. So in a large bowl, we're going to toss the shrimp, and we're going to put a hefty sprinkling of salt onto that. Massage it in gently and allow that to sit for about 5 minutes. And that's actually going to help plump up your shrimp, especially if they were previously frozen. I like to use the fresh stuff myself, never frozen if you can get it. We're going to add some Cajun seasoning to the shrimp after that. Let that marinate for about 20 minutes while you make the chutney or the sauce that's going to go with this. So in a skillet, we're going to warm up about 1 tablespoon of olive oil over low heat until it starts to shimmer. You can see the oil move a little bit in the pan. You're going to add the cumin and the fennel, and it's going to sputter. It's going to spit because you're actually going to roast those spices to bring out the flavor in them. You're going to stir in the serrano pepper and saute with the onion until soft and it's picked up some of the color of the spices. Add the turmeric and saute for about 30 seconds. At that point, stir in the pineapple and toss the coat with all those spices. Cook for another about 5 minutes. Add the cilantro and the mayonnaise and stir to combine. Now, you're going to add some cornmeal to a shallow plate and coat each shrimp evenly with the cornmeal. Here's a little secret. Like to kick it up, like to make it sizzling. Put a little bit of that Cajun spice that you used originally in with the shrimp. Put that in with the cornmeal too. That'll kick it up a notch. So while you warm up the vegetable oil, you're going to use a couple of tablespoons of that into a large skillet over medium-high heat. When the oil is shimmering, and you're not going to know when it's hot, you're going to add in that shrimp. You're going to flip after about 2 minutes or when they start to change color. Remember, we're looking for that nice white color, that white pink. We don't want anything grayish. Cook for another 2 minutes on either side and cook until your liking. Don't overcook. Should take about 5 minutes total. Remove the shrimp from the skillet, put it onto a paper towel, and then once you've got that, we're ready to build our nice sandwiches. Take a nice slathering of that pineapple mayonnaise chutney mixture. Put that on one side of each bun. Spoon a generous helping of the shrimp over the top of that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add some lettuce and tomato to cover it and seal it right up. And you've got a great, great sandwich. Ladies, that is Sizzlin' Scotty's shrimp and pineapple po' boy. You can get that recipe on my Facebook page, which is Tailgate Grillin' with Sizzlin' Scotty. You can also get that on the Heels on Wheels Facebook site. Give us all a like. Tell us some comments about what you'd like to see on a future show. And with that said, this has been Sizzlin' Scotty, and we'll be right back after this break.
Automotive enthusiast, have you modified your ride and want to see how much horsepower it'll put down? Look for bragging rights amongst your buddies whether you're running big boost or a big block. RP Performance has your answer. Featuring a state-of-the-art two-wheel drive Dyno Dynamics chassis dyno, RP Performance can measure your current power or help tune your car for maximum power. And for you power junkies, want to drive a fully prepared race car flat out around one of the East Coast's finest road courses? RP Performance also offers race car rentals for all your track day events. Host your next corporate team building event with the need for speed. Gift certificates are available for dyno services and track car rental. RP Performance is located at Summit Point Raceway just minutes from Winchester. Visit them online at rpperformanceracing.com or call 304-728-6749 for more information. RP Performance, your Mazda Street performance and racing specialist.
Ever higher, never quit. Lofty goals in this age of shoddy quality, corporate indifference, and built-in obsolescence. It's a beacon of light in a crowded field of mediocrity. The way a company is run is an indication of how you, the customer, is going to be treated. You have a lot of choices when you're searching for auto and performance parts online and at the corner parts store. So why should you buy from Excelsior Racing? Because they're simply the best online parts supplier in the business. If you're looking for selection, ease of ordering, cost, and prompt delivery, look no further. If you have a question, our customer service hotline, staffed by knowledgeable gearheads like you, will ensure that you get what you need to fix or mod your car or truck. With 1,000 suppliers, you're guaranteed to get what you need. First time, every time. Excelsior Racing. Excellence on the track. Excellence on the road. Excellence in customer service. Online at excelsiorracing.com or call 502-909-2034.
Girl power comes to your radio. It's Heels on Wheels on the PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com.
We're back with the Heels on Wheels radio program, and we have Jennifer Awad, a racer and Mustang enthusiast. How are you, Jennifer?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. So I have some other girls here with me. Krista, who is a fellow Mustang lover, and Stacy Grammer, who is into road racing. You kind of do a lot of everything. So tell us how you got started into motorsports at all.
Actually, growing up, my uncles were always into mechanics and everything like that, so I always found an interest in how cars worked and everything, and over time, dating and everything like that, the guys that were with me, I got into Mopars at one point and then flipped to Ford, and I've been a Ford girl ever since.
So let me ask you, as a fellow Ford enthusiast, what made you decide on Ford?
I don't know. It was just something for the love of the Mustang and how they worked, and seeing, just in general of what they can do, whether it's all motor or with a power adder or anything like that. It's just really cool in my eyes.
And that's actually fantastic, because Ford does have the longest running pony platform in the country, or in the world, actually. So I think you made an awesome choice.
Exactly. I mean, I've been through so many Mustangs over the years, and I went from a power adder on my previous Mustang, was in a very bad accident, and the car was totaled, and I said, you know what? I'd rather go with a big block, and that's what I've been with since, and I'm on my 13th Mustang right now.
Oh, wow. So, I mean,
I've been a Fox girl, my whole time running, and don't get me wrong, I love the new ones, I love the old ones. I personally would love to have a 67 GT500, the old school Eleanor. I'm just a classic kind of girl, but I'll pick a new one if I had one.
Most of us would. Jennifer, I've got a quick question for you. You're in New Jersey, is that correct?
Yes, we're getting slammed with snow at the moment.
Ah, lucky you. Now, have you been down to New Jersey Motorsport Park to run your car?
The only track that I've been to and actually personally ran my car was Raceway Park here in Old Bridge Township. I've been to ATCO, but I haven't raced there yet, but my home track is Old Bridge. Okay.
So you don't road race it, you do other kinds of racing?
I drag race it, yeah.
You drag race it, okay.
Yep.
Well, now we know.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because drag race cars, especially if you're deep down into it, and I'm assuming your 340 is a stroker motor, real drag race cars aren't set up at all for road racing. So unless you have a street car, it's very hard to go back and forth. I mean, how did you set yours up?
Well, we actually had gone on a cruise on Sunday with twists and turns and everything, and I have skinnies on the car, and it just does not handle on curves at all. It's just, I race it on the street. Well, I don't race it on the street, but I drive it on the street. I race it at the track, and it's set up to go mid to high 11s, from what I was told. But after everything that transpired a couple of years ago, I've been kind of hesitant to really get on the car and really see what it can do. But this spring is a whole different story.
So I have a question. We're all into racing, and we, go to the races every weekend and everything, but you're also into car shows and that kind of stuff. And I mean, most of us have been to a car show or a couple, but we're not into it as much, showing our cars and everything. What do car shows do for you, and what do you get out of showing your car to people?
To me, showing a car, it brings out, I'm affiliated with a car club, of course, and it brings us all together for the day. Most of the shows run 8 hours in town, And we do the cruise nights, a lot of local ones, 4 or 5 hours or whatever, but it's just bringing everybody together to hang out, have a good time, and people ask questions about the car, and I'm proud to say that I can actually explain what's in my car and how it works and what it's capable of doing, and not many women can do that. Usually they'll fall back and say, oh, well, this guy did this and this guy did that. Well, yeah, I have help, and I've had help, building my car, but I know what's in it, and I can explain what's in it and how it works.
I've got a quick question. I mean, you drag race, obviously. Have you ever had need to get technical support from one of your sponsors or from one of the major companies like Valvoline and been able to get a really good response out of their tech people when you've made the phone call?
Honestly, I don't have a sponsorship. Everything is done, I buy the parts myself. I have them installed. I don't have a sponsorship. I mean, maybe down the line if word of mouth comes around and someone wants to, that'd be great. But no, everything is done by myself. I had an issue years ago with ProCharger when the car had a blower on it, and they were wonderful with their tech support.
Awesome.
No issues whatsoever. But now it's just whatever is I have in the car. It's all name brand, material. But I haven't had a problem.
Oh, awesome.
Now, Jennifer, you said that you had a little bit of an accident, and you told me in your email that it almost ended your need to race and that desire you have. How hard was it to get back in the car and go back through all of that and have to relive it?
The problem, it wasn't really a problem, but we were actually on our way to a car show here in Old Bridge, and some guy in a alternate car came at me head on to go into a driveway, and my car was home 2 weeks from being tuned and just completely destroyed the car, and it crushed me as well as the car. I've since had major surgery, but I've bounced back. I drive past the accident site almost daily, and it took me close to a year to get over it and get back into the car again. I bought a shell, I put the big block in and everything like that, and I just didn't really feel the desire or need to get back in that car and go fast. And I wasn't even speeding with the accident. It was just a freak of nature that happened to happen that day. But over time, I got back in the car, and I do have children, and they pushed me to get back in the car because they like going out for rides with me and enjoy it just as much as I do, and realized, okay, well, I'll do it for them, not so much for myself.
Wow.
It's interesting that we bring up your accident and that the accident was actually on the street, because I actually want to talk to you a little bit about driver safety on the street. You have children, so did that push you to maybe tell them to take a defensive driver course, or Blacktop Boot Camp down here, for example, offers a fun defensive driving course for kids they'll be interested in. Has that changed your perspective at all?
Honestly, it wasn't even, I wasn't speeding. I was just cruising naturally, and it just happened. I was doing 30 miles an hour, and it was like hitting a brick wall. The guy didn't stop or anything. It was really hard. I mean, with how people drive these days, you have to be so, aware of your surroundings and afraid of anything. And after the accident, I was petrified to drive again. It took a lot to get back into a car because I was completely crushed after what happened. You'd never expect it going out on the road at all.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's something I think all of us have to deal with every day. I mean, I drive a Mazda. I don't drive a fast car.
Mm-hmm.
We all have to deal with that every single day. And most of the time, it's not us that's the problem. And we have to learn defensive driving in order to drive on the street every day. So, I mean, I want to go back for a second. You were talking about your kids and your family and everything. And how hard is it to be able to go and race and go to car shows and keep up with your family and everything else that you have going on in your life other than racing?
Well, it's hard. I am a stay-at-home mom. I divide my time between their father and myself, so on the days where my children aren't with me is the time that I go out and I just go in the car and go for a cruise and relax. And even if my children are with me, I take them with me because they like doing the car shows. They love going to the track and watching the drag races, and especially when they have the funny cars and the monster trucks. That's their big thing. You know, my kids are monster truck addicts, but they have a big desire, just like their mother, for Mustangs. They point them out on the road. They know the exhaust sound. I mean, it's just, it's comical.
Don't we all?
It does stand out. It really does.
Car shows usually, especially, I've seen a lot of Mustang car shows, they have causes related to them. Is there anything close to your heart that draws you to one car show over another?
If it relates to children, obviously that would be my first and foremost. If it relates to any type of cancer, you know, especially breast cancer, that's a big thing that I would support. I mean, if the money is going to go to a great cause, you know, I'm all for it and more than willing to help and support them. We do a cruise night, and they support the brain-injured children, and it's just a wonderful cause, or the PVA or anything like that around here.
Wow, that's great. We all love doing stuff for charities. I mean, just giving to people that don't have anything when we can go out and race and go do all this stuff. I mean, it really helps everybody out, and it makes us feel good, too. So I have a question for you. You said you worked or you knew the ins and outs of your car and everything like that. Do you actually get in there and do all the mechanic work yourself, or, you know how to do that kind of stuff?
I know how to do the basics. I mean, if I was there when the block was assembled and simple things, I do the regular run-of-the-mill stuff, the oil changes, swap tires. My kids are always underneath the hood with me, trying to see what I'm doing, if something is faulty. Of course, I'll try to fix it myself before calling a colleague and say, I need your help, come to the house and help me fix this. But I try to know the general basics of what's going on, but if it's anything major, I'll go to the person who helped, you know, and built my car for me.
So you have good support system for those kinds of things.
I do. It's wonderful. I have a great group of friends that help.
Awesome. Well, I hope you'll manage to get down to one of the big car shows in South Jersey. I do know that there is a wonderful Mustang club down that way. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad we got a chance to talk to you tonight. It was great talking with you guys, too. I appreciate it. It was a real honor to speak with you ladies.
It's been great. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, she doesn't have a sponsor. Not saying she may be looking for one right now. She may not be, but it's out there. She's definitely into what she's doing and loves Mustangs. So, Jennifer, it's really been great talking to you. And this has been Krista Elise, Stacy Grammer, and myself, Taylor Hyatt, along with Jennifer Awad for Heels on Wheels radio program. We'll be back right after this.
If you're a gearhead, you probably go online to those hot rod superstores, drooling over the chrome and speed goodies until you find just the right item for your muscle car, tuner car, truck. But what do you do when it comes to fixing the mom mobile? If you're like most do-it-yourselfers, you head to the strip mall parts store and talk to the "Do you want fries with that?" kid behind the counter. Hold on, Bunky. Did you stop to think where those chain stores are getting the parts that you're installing in the vehicle that's used to transport your family everywhere? They get the cheapest suppliers they can find to sell you the parts at bargain prices. Their limited lifetime warranties? What a joke. Remember the last time Mom's car broke down? You heard about that one for weeks. Don't take that chance again. Excelsior Racing has the quality parts you need for your family vehicle. Parts that you can install knowing you're getting the best for your family. Excelsior Racing. Quality parts, personalized service, affordable pricing, fast to you direct. Excelsior Racing. Online at excelsiorracing.com or call 502-909-2034.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
Ladies, become empowered with firearms training at Veritas Training Academy in Sarasota, Florida. Veritas will teach you what the bad guys don't want you to know. No prior firearms experience needed. Classes fill up quickly, so don't delay. 941-447-7089. That's 941-447-7089 for class dates and times. Veritas also offers firearm safety and concealed carry courses as well as private lessons to hone your firearm skills and provide you with all the information you need to stay compliant with the law. Veritas Training Academy, 941-447-7089. Or check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/trainveritas. Where girl power meets horsepower. It's Heels on Wheels on the PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com.
Hey everyone, we're back with with Heels on Wheels radio program. I have Tonya Mantsch, a motocrosser and former Miss Motorama, with us today. Hi, Tonya. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. So I'm here with Krista Elise and Stacy Grammer, and, you know, we don't do much dirt racing between the three of us. We're more into the road racing side, so you're going to have to bear with us and probably teach us a lot of things in the next couple of minutes here. So how did you get started in dirt racing?
Well, my dad bought my little brother a dirt bike. It was on, I don't think it was his third Christmas or something like that, and I was being a little brat and cried to my dad, so my dad went out and he bought me a dirt bike.
Wow.
Well, that's one way to get into racing.
Yeah.
That's what every dad wants to hear, that their little girl wants to go racing.
I know. So nerve-wracking.
So I read that you went, you didn't really start out technically riding bikes. You started out riding a pony.
Yeah, my mom bought me a pony, and then I got a dirt bike, and I just tended to stick with the dirt bike and kind of stopped riding my pony.
So you went from 1 horsepower to how many?
Yes.
Probably a lot more, I'm guessing.
Yeah, more unusual ways to get into racing. That's great.
Go from a pony to a dirt bike.
Well, why do you think motocross has an allure for you? What's in it for you?
I absolutely love adrenaline, and I don't know, like, I just fell in love with it ever since I started. Even though I wrecked and broke bones and stuff like that, I'm just addicted to it.
So I want to talk about Motorama, which is coming up here in the near future. How did you get into doing that? I mean, is it something all the motocrossers do, or was it different for you? And you also did something a little different than some of the other people that were there. You raced and competed to be Miss Motorama. Can you tell us about that?
A guy named Rob Harris, they live out that way. It's out in Harrisburg. He told me about it and said, oh, I should come out racing and stuff like that. And then he told me there was a pageant going on, and everyone's like, oh, you should enter the pageant. And I was just like, I don't know, because I never did anything like that. Yeah, it was a pageant.
And that's really interesting to hear, being it's at a dirt race. I mean, this is an inside track, right, in Harrisburg?
Yes, at the farm show complex.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be inside, all dirt, and having a pageant at the same time, you don't really get a lot of that.
No, they actually worked with me. Like, I talked to the reps and stuff like that and told them about me being in the pageant. So they kind of worked with, like, the races and when I had to go and be on stage.
That's a strange mix. It really is. Is this something that's been going on for a really long time?
No, actually, the year I raced there, that was the first year they ever brought a women's motocross race out, like a class for women's, and that was the last year that they had it, the year that I raced it and won.
You not only won the motocross title, you won the pageant title. I mean, is that changing your perspective for this year? Are you less nervous than you were before?
Yeah, it helped me a lot. It made me feel more confident in myself, holding that title and being the first woman to ever win the women's class and win the pageant all on the same day.
So you go and get your pro license in 2012, and then you got into an accident and you couldn't race your first pro race. Can you tell us about that?
Well, it was like my first race, just to get the feeling of being on the gate and stuff like that again. And it was the last lap. I was at least a football field away from the finish line, and I just came off a jump wrong. I was winning the whole race. That's the thing that really bothers me. I was winning the race the whole time, and I wrecked and messed my knee up really bad.
Ouch. Well, tell me something. Your parents obviously bought you that first bike. Are they your support crew for all of this, and they travel to different races with you?
Oh, yes. My dad can't always go practicing and stuff with me because he does stuff with my brother with wrestling, but he goes to, like, my pro nationals and my big races with me, but my mom's the one that takes me everywhere.
Well, how many races do you do each season?
It all depends. I usually just try to do like the bigger races, depending on how many there is, because anymore they keep trying to give the women's motocross less and less.
Less and less track time?
No, less and less races.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
what do you do outside of racing? Are you in school?
I currently am a supervisor at UPS. I plan on going to school once I get like more settled down to go to be a registered nurse. I do the ring card girl for the Pinnacle MMA fights. I've trained little girls with Girls Just Want to Ride events and just hang out with my family pretty much.
Now, I have a question because you're already pretty involved in women's motorsports at a young age. Do you have any future plans of, taking a more proactive approach as to, getting deeper into it at a professional level?
I've tried to pretty much do anything. Like, if I can get to be, like, a monster girl and stuff like that, that's, like, my biggest goal is to be one of those.
Wow. So I want to talk about a pretty big event probably for you in your life. You got to meet two big people in the motocross world. Can you tell us about how it was meeting them and watching them race?
Ryan Dungey, I met at Southwick last year. It was pretty awesome being able to just walk up and talk to them and just, having one-on-one time. It's nice. It's interesting.
Yeah,
and you also met a couple of female racers too, correct?
Yes, I've met Ashley Folick, Jessica Patterson, Alexa Pearson, and just the whole lineup of the women's motocross girls.
Does that make you, just want to get into it even more because you can watch them and see how far that they've gone with this?
Yes, it does.
So I have a question. Diana Dahlgren, I know you probably know who she is. She's really deep as a monster girl and deep into motocross on the modeling end of things. How heavy of an influence is she on what you do?
I mean, I think she is absolutely gorgeous and absolutely beautiful. And if I could ever have the opportunity to do that, that would be like my lifetime goal.
Tell us a little bit about your bike.
It is a 2013 KXF 250. It's fuel injected. I have the suspension done out by my sponsor, FCR. My graphics by Mercedes Motorsports. This is my other biggest sponsor. It's mapped to be more aggressive and give me more speed.
So for us asphalt girls, I'm going to call us, because we don't do a lot of dirt racing, what's the difference between racing on dirt and doing all of the jumps and everything you do and trying to race on asphalt? Is there a big difference of how you have to handle your bike?
With dirt, everything changes. Like, the more the bikes go on and later on in the day, the more the track gets beat up. It gets ruts, breaking bumps, the faces of jumps get chewed out. Just everything changes anytime. The next lap you do on that track, something is different every time.
So I hear that you're a ring girl, right? You mentioned that before. Tell us about your Pinnacle fighting and that part of your career.
That, it is something, it's completely different. It's just like, I just hold a card up and walk around a ring and watch people beat the crap out of each other.
I'm sure you see some of that on the racetrack as well.
Yeah, we wish we could do that on the track sometimes. So.
Oh yeah, people get into it when they wreck into each other. You'll see people push each other over or push their bikes off of each other.
So you mentioned some of your sponsors already. Why don't you go ahead and give them a little recognition?
Mercedes Sports has helped me through everything since I became pro, and FCR is now my newest sponsor, which Jeff Cieslak does, and he does an awesome job at my suspension. I wouldn't recommend going to anybody else but them.
Where are they located exactly?
Mercedes Motorsports is located in North Huntington, and FCR just bought a new place, and that's out in Robertson, PA. It's outside of Pittsburgh.
Okay, that's awesome. Tell everybody where they can find you, actually, so they can follow you, especially because Motorama is coming up in mid-February.
You can go on Facebook and just type in Tonya Mantsch, and my name should pop up. And I also have Instagram, which is Tonya, which is TONYAY, #MX.
And your last name then is Mantsch for everybody again. I know it's a difficult one to say there. Believe me, I had to ask her myself.
I know. Everyone butchers that. And I'm just like, no, the T and the S, it's like ranch, but with an M pronounced, but it looks like
it's
completely
okay.
different.
We all have difficult names. Most of us, anyway. Yes. Well, unfortunately, we are running out of time. Everybody make sure you go like her Facebook page, follow her. She's doing great things. So we're definitely going to follow your career and hopefully catch up with you very soon.
That's going to be huge, and I think you'll do really well this year.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's something new for me.
No problem. Well, we were very happy to talk to you today, and we're going to go to our break and come back with Beauty's Got Muscle right after this.
Exceptional service on every visit. That's what our clients have come to expect at Renew Salon and Spa. Renew Salon and Spa's team of friendly experts specializing in hair care, nails, massage, and skin care offer the highest quality service to give you the look you want. Their staff of experienced professionals attend seminars, clinics, and workshops to stay on top of the latest trends in hair design. From color to foils and cuts, gel nails, manicures, facials, and pedicures, you will leave with a salon experience like no other. Check our website for monthly specials. Renew Salon and Spa in Uptown Altamont Springs, Florida. 407-834-1008. And ask for Jean, stylist and nail tech for racers and enthusiasts. RenewSalon.com. Now carrying a wide selection of Moroccan oil and Bumble hair care products. Renew Salon and Spa in Altamont Springs, Florida. Call 407-834-1008 and ask for Jean.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, recording artists against drunk driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more, but the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives and so should you.
Motorsports Sales Professionals. Performance Motorsports is looking to build a team of experienced media sales professionals to represent our programming to the industry's top companies, magazines, and racing series. If you have motorsports sales or marketing experience, know how to work with agencies, understand social media, and are incredibly creative when it comes to working with clients and promotions, then we want to hear from you. Top performers are richly rewarded. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444, or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
You want fast women? Well, we got them right here.
Hey, baby.
Well, all right. No, not that kind of fast. Yeah, that kind. Now back to Heels on Wheels on the PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com.
Hey guys, this is Katie from Beauty's Got Muscle. So I've talked a lot about Ned Nova, and for those of you who don't know who Ned Nova is, he is my 1978 Chevrolet Nova and the love of my life, and I just realized that I've been with Ned for about 7 years. It'll be 8 in February, and every day I can honestly say I love this car more. Like, I would kill a baby infant, maybe 12 of them, to keep this car alive. It's not really true. I can't only because the law prohibits me from killing baby infants, so I won't do that. But if it came down to 12 baby infants and my Nova, I'd be like, kill the babies. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, I'm going to move on before I go to jail for talking about killing infants. So, to say my romance, though, with Ned was love at first sight would be completely wrong. We are truly a romantic comedy in the sense that when I first saw Ned, I thought he looked like a grandpa car. Now, when it came time for me to get my first car, I always knew it would be a Chevy. My household is filled with Chevys. We got a Chevy Silverado. We have a Chevy Suburban. My dad's got a 72 Ragtop SS Chevelle. My younger sister has an El Camino. I've got Ned. A Prius would not dare drive by my house. It would shit itself as it drove by. So I knew I'd be driving a bow tie, and the third generation Novas always caught my eye. But I was young and car shallow, only judging cars by their appearance and looks. Luckily, most third gens were either rust buckets or out of my price range, the ones that weren't rust buckets. So when I came across Ned online and I saw his picture, I was not completely sold by him. His original specs were a straight six, automatic, 34,000 original miles. That was the golden key right there. And also that body was rock solid. Not a trace of rust. He lived in a garage his whole life. So when I was looking at him the first car, I was definitely bummed out. I saw these giant crock pots that were essentially his hubcaps on the side. And he had this weird rubber rub rail. It almost looked like the rub rail on a boat that went down the side of them. It was ridiculous. And that was glued on, by the way. 1978, I don't know what you were doing with your decals, but for the love of God, get your crap together. But aware that this was a good find, especially for a kid's first car, being that it was a straight six and had a cool style, my dad said, we're going to check it out. And good thing he did. When I saw Ned for the first time, I looked at him and said, he looks like Ned. And that is the origin of the name Ned, ladies and gentlemen. Simply said. I'm just a weirdo who looks at things and names them. But Ned's name over time has acronyms that have formed to it, and this is why I believe nothing is coincidence. Now, one of them is Never Ever Dies, and the other is Never Ending Drive. I love them both. And anybody who makes up mean acronyms about Ned, you can go suck one, because I'm not going to listen to it. I'm just going to say, talk to the hand, because the face don't want to hear it. Or talk to the finger, because you don't deserve 5. Or talk to the elbow, because you ain't worth the extension. I just went 3rd grade on your ass. Anyway, since I've had Ned, I've always dreamed of doing something important with my life, and something to give it a purpose to be proud of. And I always dreamed of taking Ned and driving across the country and meeting more women in the car world and spreading the word about us and our existence. But I never really thought I would do it. You know, as a young adult, what we've been taught our whole lives is to go to college, get the salary job, and to be honest, that was originally my plan, until something happened. I lost a very good friend of mine to brain cancer. She was only 21 at the time, and the same age as me. Events like that in a person's life define you and kind of become a part of who you are, and I realized that I did not want to live for a 9-to-5 job, and I didn't have to. So thus, Beauty's Got Muscle was born. Ned and I have been traveling all over the country. We've been meeting loads of great people, and my family of the car world has grown tremendously. And recently we just finished a video of the overhaul of Ned, which I'm super excited, and I want everybody to go and watch it. This is probably one of the videos that I am most proud of. We pulled Ned's straight six, we put in a 354 bolt main with a comp cam kit, Edelbrock intake manifold with a Holley 650 CFM carburetor, Mallory distributor, and MSD wires. He got a 2.5-inch custom exhaust with Hedman headers. We pulled out the automatic transmission and put in a M20 4-speed with a Hurst Competition Plus shifter and a Borg Warner clutch. Ned has balls the size of the earth. And we documented the whole process for your viewing pleasure. So this is easily one of the most difficult videos I've ever had to edit because of what it means to me. I had so many people donate parts, time, and labor and help me make this dream happen, and sharing it with all of you is one of the most nerve-wracking and exciting things for me to do, because I don't think I've ever exposed myself, and I'm not naked, but I mean in a way emotionally that this video has done, and it is easily Beauty's Got Muscle's proudest piece of work that we've done to date, and I can't stress it enough that I want you all to go see it. We're going to post it on beautysgotmuscle.com, BEAUTYS gotmuscle.com. If you go to the blog on that website, you'll be able to view it there. If you check out Beauty's Got Muscle's Facebook page, we'll have it posted there, and we'll also hopefully share it on Heels on Wheels' Facebook page. Definitely check it out. You'll see a Ginger, excited, weeping, and excited again, and a very handsome Nova. This has been Katie from Beauty's Got Muscle. Now back to those sassy ladies from Heels on Wheels.
Well, thanks for that, Katie. It's always a good time with Beauty's Got Muscle. I'm here with the ladies of Heels on Wheels, Krista Elise and Stacy Grammer. And we also have Diana Clausen, who is the Auto Goddess, and she's going to be with our Roundtable ladies today as well. Hi, Diana.
Hi, I am so honored to be a part of this amazing crew of motor gearhead females.
Well, we are happy to have you back on the show, that's for sure. So, we're going to talk gear for girls today, and we all know how hard it is to find good, reliable gear specifically made for girls. I mean, Krista, we were talking before, and I mean, you don't have too big of a problem, but I mean, if you're tall enough and have the right build, you can fit into men's sizes. But some of us shorter girls, like myself, don't have that. Don't have that. So, I mean, and like I said, talking to you guys earlier, it's either pink, or it doesn't fit, or it's not made for us at all. So, I mean, Stacey, what do you think?
I think that guy stuff never fits me. I tried to wear guys' sizes. Does not work ever. If it fits me in some places, it's way too long and too big in others. And the very few companies carry things for women, and when they do, it's very few things that they carry.
Yeah, I mean, there is some stuff coming out. I think there was some new reveals at SEMA and PRI, with Nomex underwear and specifically made for girls, but it's the driver suits, and when you do get a good driver suit specifically made for you, it's almost double the price of a men's driver suit.
Okay, so let me speak from my personal experience, and, just for shits and giggles, I Googled women's racing gear, and the first page that comes up is, motocross and motorcycle and, Fox Racing.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot more that I feel than there is in drag racing, and from my personal experience in drag racing, they cut the fire suits and, the track gear and stuff, well enough to fit, almost any woman. My friend Jess Barton, for example, she's this petite little girl. She has a woman's figure, and, she wears guy stuff all the time. I've never had a problem.
Diana, you're the auto goddess, and I know you are really into empowering women to race. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, I agree with both Krista and Stacey. And Stacey, you're right. Those sizes can be cumbersome or too heavy. I actually just wore some gear from a guy friend of mine, and he's not a very big guy at all. But I was wearing the gloves. I can't even close my hands, And It was pretty crazy. There was some good padding, but you also have to be able to shift gears and actually be pretty mobile. And, when you're wearing something that's way too heavy, it doesn't fit right, you can't get a good grip, you want to take safety into consideration, but that's also part of safety, is having things that do fit right, having, extra small gloves if needed, but some that you're going to have a good grip and movement. So there's so much to take into consideration. Absolutely.
I posted on Facebook earlier, saying we were going to talk about this today, and one of the comments was from a girl we've had on the show a couple of times, Jessica Mace, and she's a tire changer, and she can't find good shoes to fit her that won't get destroyed after one change. So, she can't find any women's wall shoes, as she calls them. Everybody's having this problem. I guess not everybody, because Krista's not having this problem, but, like you were talking about, the gloves. I work emergency services, and I can't get gloves that are small enough to fit my hands, because they're mechanics gloves, and mechanics are apparently all men.
Ah. Absolutely. And so, I'm glad you brought up the idea of shoes, because there are some different brands out there, and some of them, in my opinion, are overrated and way overpriced. And I don't know. I shouldn't mention any brands because they might actually sponsor this show. But one brand I will definitely, hands down, beyond the shadow of a doubt, say is one of the best types of shoes, especially when driving, being on the track. If there's oil, there's grease, are actually a pair of Skechers that I have. They're actually a lightweight, very flexible, bendable, highly rubberized, anti-slip Sketcher. And, your foot's not going anywhere. You don't want it to. And I absolutely love it. I think I paid $40, $50 for these shoes, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. They're the only shoes I will wear at any type of event, whether I'm driving or not, whether I'm going to be in a garage, a pit, a paddock, whatever. And they're lightweight, and like I said, they're completely flexible. I wore them to an Indy driving school, and, the teacher was just, raving about them. So, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, us ladies got to think outside the box, especially when it comes to finding specialty wear equipment that's going to meet our needs. But I think it's out there. Unfortunately, it's just not as dominant, dominant in the stores and retail outlets that it should be.
Well, I will say that the shoes that I found some good shoes along the way, and Shoes for Cruise sponsored one of the 24-hour teams several years ago, and they do have a slip-resistant sole that's really awesome if you can find a shoe that's comfortable on your foot, and their prices are usually less than $50, which you don't find very often anymore.
You can't buy regular shoes for under $50.
I know, and these are good work shoes, but the colors are usually black, so you don't have to worry about any funky colors.
Right.
And talking about that, Krista, you had mentioned you want to talk about colors. All I'm going to say is everything made for a girl does not have to be pink.
Okay,
or pastel.
Jesus Christ. I don't, maybe it's because I'm a hard ass. I was raised in Jersey. I don't effing know. I was raised by my dad, but, my favorite color is blue, and not every woman loves pink like they love flowers, so give me a fucking break. Give me Greg.
Anything but pink. Anything but pink. I don't care what it is, just not pink.
Some people love pink, but give us a choice.
Yeah.
Exactly, well said.
We're women, we need choices.
I know,
right?
But if we
need to be able to change our mind.
Exactly. All right, ladies, last question. Is there enough gear for girls, and is it competitively priced? Krista?
I would say absolutely not, in the sense of speaking, regardless of colors. There is not enough gear tailored for women's cuts, but I think you'll see more of it in the future.
Stacey?
I think there's plenty of room to grow in this market. There's plenty of women out there who are looking for gear that fit, and not just in the U.S., but in the UK too. And I think the manufacturers need to tap this part of the market.
And Diana, I know you're all about the women.
Absolutely, and boy, could I go from manufacturers to the whole entire industry as a whole. I will. But, I'm thankful and lucky that I have a shop here in Dallas owned by a female racer, Leslie Porterfield, who broke the sound barrier on 2 wheels a couple years ago over at the Bonneville. So she knows what women need. She knows fit, she knows style, because she does it. I mean, you can't get any more legit than Leslie Porterfield. So thankfully, in my area, whether it's for a car suit, for a bike suit, gear, helmet, whatever I need, if she doesn't have it, she can get it, and she knows it from a female perspective.
That is a wrap for this week's edition of the Heels on Wheels radio program. We'll be back next week with even more amazing guests. Thanks to our guest this week, racer and Mustang enthusiast Jennifer Awad, and former Miss Motorama and motocrosser Tonya Mantsch. Find out more about KDP and Beauty's Got Muscle by visiting www.beautysgotmuscle.com or on Facebook. For more tailgating recipes, like Chef Sizzle and Scotty's Facebook page, facebook.com/tailgategrillin with Sizzle and Scotty. Our hosts have been Jean Kinzer-Dana, Stacey Grammer, Krista Elise, and Emily Gotti. Thanks to our production engineer and programming consultant, Bob Steele. I'm the executive producer, Taylor Hyatt. Thanks for listening, and remember, take a kid to the races this weekend.
Heels on Wheels is a copyrighted production of www.performancemotorsportsnetwork.com, a member of the Scorpion Radio Group, Incorporated, and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of PMN. Check out our Facebook page, Heels on Wheels Radio Show, or our section on the PMN website. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either PMN or Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated. Be listening next week as the fastest women on the planet rev it up and talk racing.
Baby, when you take the wheel.